12 gauge. Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion. Your favorite internet shooting companion from Tennessee. Almost forgot my line. Tennessee, the home of Tennessee Ernie Ford. Somebody reminded me, Tennessee Ernie Ford. And most of you wonder, who the heck was that? Well, he was a singer back in the 50s and 60s. And I can vouch for that because I grew up listening to him. You know why? Because my parents liked him and had his albums and they were playing, yeah, and even on the radio, I guess. So, yeah, Tennessee Ernie Ford. Back in the day when, as I've talked about, when the pop culture or the culture of the day, the music, the art, the culture was not so different depending on your age, you know. And everybody kind of shared the same music, whether we wanted to or not. The same TV shows, just everything, you know. Pile into the car and go to the drive-in. Kind of a group decision, mostly what the parents wanted to see or whatever, until you got to a certain age. So yeah, different world back then, maybe a better world in some ways. So yep, 12 gauge. I'm 12 gauging here a little bit. Some of you probably can tell by looking at it what the heck it is. It is a Mossberg 940 SPX, the new one, the tactical. Yeah, the newest version of the 940 Pro. Yep, borrowed it from Davidson's Gallery of Guns to do some videos with. Whom, by the way, we appreciate. Gallery of Guns, you get a guaranteed lifetime replacement on firearms purchases. Check them out. Then also, Silencer Central, they do one thing really well. They make suppressors, good ones. And then SDI, at EDU, the Sonoran Desert Institute, learn some more about firearms technology, about gunsmithing, about drone technology, a variety of things. Check them out. Yeah, been firing it this week and some of last week, I guess. And we'll fire some more. We'll hang on to it a little while and play with it quite a bit. It's got a Holosun dot on it, came with that. And you know me, I didn't search high and low to get a dot, red dot. Although I've been known to do that on long guns. I like, do I have any of my shot? I guess I have no red dots on my shotguns yet. I mean, I have no problem with them on there. I may put one on one of them, I don't know. Because I do have them on my pistol caliber carbines, a couple, 3 of those, and a couple of my rifles. I actually kind of like a red dot or a prism scope or low powered scope on a long gun rifle. I kind of do. Yeah. It's not in the way. A lot of it on a handgun is I don't feel like I need it. And if I put it on a handgun, makes that handgun bigger. When my constant mission has been to find the smallest handgun that I can shoot well. Yeah, that's very concealable and all that kind of thing. So I don't want to be about making them bigger, you know, unless I need to. But on a long gun, you know, this is not something I'm going to have in my pocket or on my belt. A big old AR, pistol caliber carbine or shotgun, it's a big gun. When you grab it, pick it up and shoot it, having something like this on there doesn't make a lot of difference, right? So, yeah, my little lecture on that. Appreciate you coming by. And again, before I forget it, I expect to see you this coming Saturday, the 26th, in Atlanta at the NRA meeting, the exhibits. Okay, remember, I'll be at Silencer Central booth from 10 to 11, 10 o'clock, okay? And then in the afternoon at 1 o'clock at the SDI booth, okay, Sonoran Desert Institute, all right? And that's the 26th, this coming Saturday. So before I see you again here in the woods, I will have seen many of you right there at the NRA meeting, okay? And I have to say this all the time, I guess, but the NRA meeting, If you're not that familiar with it, maybe you're kind of new to firearms and everything you've heard about the NRA is negative. Well, I know if you're an anti-gunner, everything you've heard about the NRA is negative. You probably made up some of it yourself. But NRAs, they have a long history, and They've done wonderful things through the decades and century and everything, and they've done some things, though, that a lot of people weren't so happy with. And imagine that, a giant organization. But anyway, don't let whatever you hear about the NRA keep you away from such a fine meeting. And exhibits, biggest gun show basically in the country, unless you can get the shot, right? And it's a great place to see all the manufacturers and handle all the firearms and all that kind of thing. I believe that's where I saw this. It was a shot or the NRA meeting. Yeah, I need to get one of those and try out. So yeah, and whatever problems the NRA's had have probably been exaggerated. You know, apparently they're getting turned around now, but social media, again, you really have to think critically in today's world, as in every world, because there are so many people on social media ready and waiting to amplify anything. And sometimes it's justified. You know, I don't know, justified perhaps. But I think a lot of times it's not, and it gets overblown because of social media. Social media is really an interesting phenomenon. It gives everybody an audience, and it gives everybody a group to feed on and become radicalized, either in a positive way or a negative way or neutral way. No matter what your thing is, what your interest is, what your weirdness is, what your complaint with the world is. Be some crazy, neurotic, psychotic complaint with the world that makes absolutely no sense. You're really off the deep end. But guess what? On social media, you'll find a lot of friends who are just like you and will agree with you, and then amplify that and get you even more radicalized. And that's possible with anything. Just be aware of that. And some of that's probably been overblown, even though it all wasn't very good. Which was why we pulled the plug on sponsorship from the NRA. Maybe we shouldn't have done it so quickly. I don't know, but I don't know. It didn't seem to me though like they got things started turning around with that big barge for 2 or 3 years after we pulled the plug on them. So, but apparently they're on kind of on the road back. Maybe even on a better road. We'll see. Time will tell. All right, but anyway, I expect to see you there. And I don't want these lame excuses like you're 1,000 miles away or something like that. You're like, there's roads go to Atlanta. There's airplanes flying to this country. So I'll see you there. Okay. So 10 o'clock in the morning Saturday at Silencer Central, or 1 o'clock at SDI. See you there. And this is a 12 gauge 940 Pro. Been shooting it. It's been working well. It's kind of an inexpensive version of a tactical shotgun. I had the 1301. I really like it. I got the Benelli M4, and this is in that same vein, but for a good bit less, about half, not much more than half. So definitely something a person would want to look at. And these have been around. I have never fired the 930 or even the first go round on the 940s. This is the first one I have fired, the most recent one. Got the different fore-end on it, protects, got kind of a heat shield going on there, things like that, a single piece magazine. I don't know whatever difference they made, some in the latch here and things like that. We'll do a video with it and I'll explain some of that. The sight's a little different, but seems to work. I've got I sighted in that hole, son, and I tell you, the sight is fiber optic is really, really visible. And it's interesting because when you get the red dot zeroed in, which I did, it was way high. Yeah, I mean, didn't expect it to be on, but it was way high, so I got it down. So it points the same place that green that green fiber optic does. And here's a news flash for you. If I want to be on target with the red dot, because this one is on target, it is right where it needs to be. Good thing, right? So if I want this to be lined up to hit the target, then I guess the red dot is going to look and be in the same place that that is, right? And so that is the case. And so when I sight it, I've got I got both of them, dealing with both of them, covering each other up and all that kind of thing. So it's not a big deal. It is a shotgun, and unless you're shooting slugs, that's not a big deal, which is what I was shooting, by the way. I think you could tell shooting at the Gong at 80 yards. I don't think I'd be hitting it with birdshot. I did miss it the first shot. I was holding high. I brought it down, held around the bottom, and popped it. I guess a slug is not too powerful for our friend over there. Let's put a couple on our friend. Okay. And you know who our friend is. This has got the ambidextrous safety, like all Mossberg, right? I guess except the Maverick 88. Let's pop Clyde. All right, safety off. Ooh, hit him hard. That was mean. That was mean. That really was. Let's put one on the propane tank. That was mean too. Yeah, I'll shoot some bird shot here maybe. So yeah, pretty cool. I got that out. I got another firearm. I guess where it is. It's in my pocket. I'm gonna pull it out. Oh, bullseye. I pulled it out of an Alabama holster. One of these guys right here. Let me lay it there, pointed in the right direction. Yeah, we appreciate Alabama holster. They enable me to carry concealed pretty effectively, I'll have to say. And have some little firearm like this in my pocket. Here I go blowing apart the target again. All right, 32. This is a 32 H&R Magnum, by the way. Right, cowboy? Yeah. Yeah, got that guy too. I don't know if I hit Clyde with one of these or not. Well, we got one left or two. Got him. All right. All right. Got old Clyde. Yep, 6 shot. Hold 6. It's pretty nice. 32. Interesting chambering. My little Smith & Wesson 632 UC. You know what UC stands for? Ultimate Carry. Yeah, let me put it back in my Alabama holster. I always want to be careful putting it in the holster and taking it out, but that's the advantage of having a nice holster. You don't have the trigger revealed. You know, it's covered, and you reach in, pull it out, and there you go. Boom, like that. Wow, what a show. Pretty nice. 6 rounds. Yep. Not bad at all. I like that. I like these a lot. I like them a lot. Well, you know, duh. You know, I like the J-frame 642, 632. They are wonderful. There is one, it's not a J-frame, but a pocket revolver like that. I have always looked at. What about any of you? You may not even be aware of it. I love the 44 Special, as you know. And it is a model 296, I believe, 296 titanium 44 Special. And it is, you know, it's kind of in this vein, but it's bigger, need I tell you that? It's 44 Special. It's, what would it be equivalent to? L-frame, I guess. It holds 5. And it's 44, but it's very light. It's really light. I mean, you pick one up without it being loaded. And I guess I've never picked one up when it was loaded because I've never owned one. But I'm always attracted to them. I've looked at them online a few times. You don't see them very often, and I'm always tempted. I've seen them at gun shows a couple of times, and I've been tempted on them there. But they're always really pricey, really pricey. There's just not many of them floating around. They're kind of a unique thing, a little bit of a unicorn. But I don't know if I would get the most out of it. I like a 44 Special, but it would be, I've been working on getting lighter and lighter and lighter in terms of a carry gun, and I'd be kind of going the other way in order to get 44 Special, because even that gun is heavier than these, even though it's titanium, it's bigger. And then by the time you get 5 big old 44 slugs in them, unless you can find some 44 cartridges that have titanium cases and titanium bullets and titanium powder, it's just going to be, I don't know what you'd have. If you've got one, what do you think? Y'all have weighed it. By the time you got one of those loaded, you're probably talking about unloaded, I don't know what they weigh, 18 ounces or something maybe, I don't know. Get it loaded, you got the same weight probably you'd have with a loaded, or with a Glock 19 or something, I don't know. But anyway, they're always interesting. I just like big bore stuff, but I realize you don't really need it. You don't really need it, but it's just nice. Don't need a lot of things, do you? Oh man, I saw a bunch of 44 Specials since you've seen me. Went up to a friend's place out in the country, even more country than where I am, and we shot 44s for, wow, hours. He has several 44 Magnums and 357 Magnum Model 28, and some 29s, 629s. He got the new mountain gun, Smith & Wesson just released, you know, the well, 629 new mountain gun. And I took my 624s, my 44 Specials, and just had a blast slinging lead. He's got metal targets like I do, and we had fun. Have you ever noticed shooting is just a lot of fun? It really is. Oh, a tractor going down the road. Well, I must live in the country. You know you live in the country. You've got tractors going down the road, or you come up on one, right? Four-wheelers, that kind of thing. What do you want me to shoot, the shotgun? Let's put some bird shot in it. Yeah, let's do. Let's put some of this in here. I really do hope to see a bunch of you at the NRA meeting. I expect you to be there. I expect you to be there. But now I call it a meeting. It's the annual meeting. Safe. I confess I don't really go to meetings. Maybe if more of us did, the organization wouldn't have gotten screwed up a few years back. But it's just a most incredible exhibit hall. You know, if you like firearms, yeah, you would love it. You would love it. I mean, I've gone to them before I even started doing this. I went to one or two that were not too far away, and then I know another guy that goes to them whenever they're nearby at all. He doesn't do videos or anything. It's just an interesting place to go and see all the gun manufacturers. All right, bird shot. Think I hit the gong with this? I don't think so. All right. I'll bet I can hit a 2-liter though. And some steel. Got more. Pretty nice. If you've not learned to enjoy the pleasures of a shotgun, I'm sorry. You're missing out. They're just a lot of fun. They're not just for hunting, okay? Need I tell you that? How many rounds have I fired? Look at that one coming out of there, trying to come out under recoil. We haven't posted it yet. Maybe I told you about it. We did a video with the Shockwave over here, and yeah, it's not live yet. But at one point, I'm shooting that thing, I guess holding it about like this, and a shell comes out of the side saddle and pops me on the lip. It actually kind of bruised my lip there at the time. Seems funny. But I wouldn't expect it. that to happen. But that side saddle was a little bit different, not as strong as this one, even though, but on this one, that one was wanting to come out. This one is made by Vang Comp Systems. Vang Comp comes on these things. So, yep, 940 Pro tactical, pretty cool. Gonna shoot this little baby gun again. I'll put it back in the holster. So what else? Young people, man. Oh, I was watching, speaking of Westerns, speaking of cowboys, I was watching, I went back and I thought I'm gonna go back and catch the old early Bonanza series, because what was I reading? I was watching a video, 246, from Duelist, 1954, it's his username, Duelist. He does a lot of classic firearms, things like, does a lot of neat stuff. Check him out. And he was doing something on the guns of Bonanza. And so I watched that, and I don't know that I knew what the exact time setting for Bonanza was, the TV series. For obvious reasons, they're all shooting Colt single actions and the usual stuff, right? For most stuff that I remember or see, even in reruns. I think they don't rerun the early episodes very much, that I recall. And it doesn't get on the Westerns channel. That's what the channel I rely on for Westerns, pretty much. They'll cycle through different series and that kind of thing. They'll have Cheyenne like they do now, or Maverick, and then they'll have the Lone, or the Rifleman, you know, for a year, and then the Rifleman won't be on there. They have contracts, I guess, for whatever on all that. But I don't recall them running Bonanza on there very often. That's more likely on other channels, commercial channels like TV Land or something like that, I think. Me, or whatever, I mean. And I just, the commercials on those just, they're not only so long, but the brainlessness of most of the ads is just, your IQ just goes down at least 4 points before the show comes back on. But anyway, so I don't know if I do remember, I think vaguely, some of those cool guns. It might be where I remember seeing Westerns when I was really young, and the ones that had the under hinge under the barrel or whatever, you know, like a cap and ball pistol reloading mechanism. I always thought those were so cool, even though I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what that was for, really. I thought it was cool for some reason. And I know they had some of it, but they had mostly fake stuff, I think, in there, like the I think in the early episodes, I think Duelist was saying that Ben Cartwright was carrying an 1875 Remington, which has that sail or that ridge under it, and some things like that. But there were a couple of them that were, I don't know, muzzle or cap and ball pistols of some sort in the early years, I guess. Well, he was talking about how the setting was 1859, I think, along in there when that started or something like that. And I was that's one reason I went back to look at it, just to, especially after having been to Virginia City, you know, this year, in Carson City and all around there, and Ponderosa and Lake Tahoe. That sparked my interest too. And I was wanting to get a better grasp on that, knowing a little bit more about the history of firearms and the area and everything else now. So let me go back and revisit that. So I went to Amazon Prime and loaded it up, called it up, and I'm in season 1. I guess I'm in season 1 still. Some of them seem later, but maybe they're not. And yeah, some of those guns are kind of funky, and I think he mentions this in his video. I've seen that in several movies. There's a rental agency in Los Angeles. Well, there were 2 or 3 of them. What's that big one's name? Stenbridge or something. And apparently they had a bunch of these. They created, I guess, a lot of these. I think he called them Hollywood Henrys. Yeah, I'd never heard him called that before. That's a good name for them. They are, could be a Model 92 or anything, I guess. And I have noticed that. I do know enough about firearms. When I see those in a Western, it's like, okay, what the heck is that? You know, and it's really just a Model 92, or I don't know, it could be a Model 94, I guess, or whatever. They've taken the fore end off of it, so you have no hand guard. So that makes it look, they think, like a Henry rifle. But then it's got a loading gate on it, and that's what perplexed me in the early days. I was trying to figure, and there's always a model that you don't know about. There's always someone made a lever gun like that, and I'm just not aware of it, or whatever. So I'm always a little slow to claim something is fake right away, because oh my gosh, just watch Forgotten Weapons or go get a book on firearms of the 19th century or something, whatever, 20th century. There's always some surprises. Wow, who made that? I didn't know about that gun. And but now it was pretty obvious. Okay, I think got a loading gate, a smooth operating lever gun, and but it was gold. The receiver would be gold or brass looking, and so anyway, one of the rental companies, just took the fore end off those guns, spray painted it gold or to look like brass or something like that. So, and it's a 92 or something that'll fire their blanks. So they got those in there. Now they're cool looking. But where I was going was it's interesting. I've watched about 7 episodes, I guess now, or 8, and I didn't pick up on that when I was a dumb kid, but or even as a teenager watching them, whenever that was. But the Cartwrights are just seemingly hated by everybody around there. So of course imagine that Hollywood. So I grew up, and most of us grew up with that being a major theme in kind of popular culture or Hollywood, right? The evil rich people, the big fat guy smoking a cigar, taking advantage of people who work for a living, or whatever. That's just the Scrooge thing. I mean, that's just heavily promoted, of course. So, but it's interesting. It's so overdone. Ben Cartwright is such a nice guy, genuine, generous character in this show, even though they are wealthy and have a lot of land. I mean, he is like, to a fault, understanding and helpful. And it's interesting. But everybody in town, the Cartwright, you Cartwrights, that's what you think you run the world, you Cartwrights. I mean, it's just in every episode, and it seems like almost every character. It's funny. I didn't remember that much resentment. But anyway, that gets to my point. My point for young people was going to be, don't let envy run your life. Don't let it run your life. Because I mean, it almost is a good lesson to watch some of those early episodes. These people just hating on the Cartwrights simply because they got there first and claimed this land and are working the land and the cattle, and have become successful doing it. And that's the kind of thing it's easy to be resentful of, isn't it? Especially for people, I don't know, with low self-esteem, or for lazy people that would never have done that, even if they had gotten there earlier, or whatever. They wouldn't have claimed the land correctly. It had been too much work, but yet it's easy to sit in a bar and be resentful of them, isn't it? But anyway, don't let envy and that kind of thing overtake you, because it's just it's so unattractive. It's so dumb. It makes a person appear, to me at least, very ignorant of the world, very unsophisticated. It's almost it's the epitome of being or having a lack of sophistication and understanding of the world. That's what sophistication means. I don't mean prim or proper. If you're not very sophisticated, it means you're not very well traveled or very knowledgeable about how the world works. But it makes you look dumb, makes you look ignorant, doesn't it? Just to envy people because they've got something you don't, or whatever it is. Even if they got it by accident, hey, lucky you, buddy, more power to you. If they hit the lottery, or they got $40 million left to them by a rich uncle or whatever, hey man, good for you. It's just so sad to be envious of people, at least in my book. So don't do that, young people. Don't fall into that trap, because you're going to see it, man, in popular culture, movies, TV shows, your college professors. Need I tell you? Oh man, let me shoot this thing some more, can I? All right. I bet your college professor, your crazy loony college professor, would be envious of me because I have a 32 H&R Magnum revolver that's the ultimate carry gun. Yeah, he's probably carrying some old black powder revolver. Or she. All right. Oh man. I promise I've not been drinking. I just get on a roll thinking about how stupid some people are, even stupider than me. Yeah. Or have a really stupid outlook on life, right? Like I don't. I probably have a stupid, ignorant outlook on life in a lot of ways, but I don't know. It's worked for me so far, so I probably won't develop a different outlook on life. I appreciate y'all coming around on Sundays. Remember, we're on Rumble as well, and you should be seeing every Sunday video, either here or there. No excuse. 5 o'clock a.m. Central Time every Sunday morning. All right, it's not like the usual issues with YouTube, where they don't serve up anything. Well, they don't serve these up either, but at least you know they're posted. Well, you know the others are posted too. Every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. What should I shoot on there? How about the bullseye again? Did I hit the gong? I hit the Clyde. Let me shoot one at the gong. Oh man, these are not target sights, that's for sure. What other shoots might I have? I saw it. All right. Did I hit it? I don't know. I thought I heard one or two. I was holding over it. Maybe if you didn't hear it hit, I must have probably gone over it. I saw one in the dust right at the foot of it. So anyway, what made it harder, I chose to try it double action. Yeah, I chose to try double action. Yeah, there's some choice, huh? Some choosing process. I tend to make that same choice with my 642. So I don't know, anything else you want to know about before I let you go? A little bit early this week. Be going off to the NRA, to Atlanta this week. Well, I'm going somewhere else this week, but I'm going to the NRA next week. And well, for you all, it's this coming week. And for me too. I don't know. I get mixed up. But I hope to see you down there. I hope to, I can't remember. I always end up staying at a different place when I go. I've been going to these things for so many years. And by the time we get back around to a city like Dallas or Atlanta, been there once or twice. And of course I look for the closest room to the convention center. And it may be a Westin, maybe the Hyatt, maybe anything, And by the time we get back around 5, 6, 7 years later, that same city, I think, okay, where do we stay in Atlanta? We're going to stay there. And of course, it doesn't matter. I'm just mainly looking for somewhere that's walkable, so I don't have to get in a car. And somewhere, it's not too far away. And it's walkable. So, yeah. It's funny, my last year, gosh, that was last year, it seemed like it was that long ago, at the NRA meeting in Dallas. That is the reason I'm driving the car I am now. I think I told y'all that, I bought a Yukon XL, still suffering from a car shortage at that time, pretty much. And I didn't really want the XL, but I had one exactly like I wanted. So I went ahead and bought it and traded it for it. And boy, I drove that thing for a few months and I got, oh wow, every time I'd park or get somewhere that was parking spaces were not very long or whatever, yeah, I should have waited, not gotten this big thing. Nice to have the room, but I don't really need that much room. And that Dallas, that was the last straw. I think I told you, I was parked in the garage at the hotel, whatever it was I was staying at. It was kind of an older garage, parking garage. I mean, I almost could not make the turns. And then there was a lot of people coming out of there one night, and I was trying to get back in, and it was a mess. And I just was locked up, couldn't even get around some of the turns. And I can drive pretty well. I've driven a school bus, so it wasn't that. I came back, and I mean, I had that thing traded for the same vehicle in the shorter version, standard version, within a couple of weeks. Yeah, I did. I don't do that very often, but something gets to a point, I get out the big hammer, and I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do this. So, yep, I think of that when I think of the NRA. Can I shoot this again before I let you go? So, I don't know anything else to tell you. I just want to shoot a little bit. I think you'd like this shotgun if you're familiar with it. If you've had one of these, Share, that people know, I had never owned or even fired a Mossberg semi-automatic shotgun. And I think they've been making these things for about 10 years, the 930s and then the earlier 940s and everything. But seems pretty nice, pretty nice. I don't think I would trade my 1301 for it. But then again, no real problems with it. Same with the A300 Beretta. I liked it as well. So a lot of good choices out there. A lot of good choices out there right now. Let's put it back in the Alabama holster. All right. Put that holster on there safely. And let's go down here and assault somebody. Like, how about two somebodies? A pig. Yep. And that's the correct use of the word assault. There's no such thing as an assault gun, is there? Assault is an action. Yep. It's an attitude. And I am thankful I don't have that attitude. Oh, let me shoot 6 of these Steinel through it now. These are jacketed, yeah. And yeah, 32. Sure I got the right stuff here. Got to shoot 6 more, sorry. I like to wrap up with some jacketed rounds. All right. If you're not familiar with 32 H&R, do some research. You'll, there you go, pulling out 5. You will, I think, like what you find out. All right, back in the holster. Let's assault the cowboy again. All right. All right, cowboy. Pretty nice. Not a lot of recoil, but a lot of penetration, which is what you want. So, pretty cool. So I'll let you go. I've gabbed at you enough. And again, I hope to see you. I will see many of you on Saturday. And like I said, if you see me, say hi. And then I expect to see you and get a handshake and a big hug. Just kidding. A handshake at the Silencer Central booth or the SDI booth. So y'all take care. Come back and see me sometime when I'm just out here standing in the woods contemplating the meaning of life. I ain't figured it out yet. Life is good.